Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you all are doing well. You're staying at home, you're away from coronavirus, you're watching videos at FunLearn in YouTube. Yeah, if you are, then great. So today our video is about circles and specifically circumference and area of a circle. So what is a circle? We have one right here. So this is a circle, okay? Let's draw one here, a bigger one. Before going into circumference and area, I want to show you different parts of a circle. So the different parts of a circle, okay, include the diameter. Let's label it as D. D is for diameter. So a diameter is a line that runs from one end of a circle to the other, passing through the center of the circle. Okay? Another part of a circle that you need to know is radius. So a radius is basically a half of, okay, R is for radius. A radius is half of a diameter. It is a line that goes from the center of the circle to one end of the circle. So in case you would have continued this line to the other end, it would have formed a diameter. So a radius is half of a diameter. Okay, that way it's easier for you to remember and convert from radius to diameter and diameter to radius according to the formula you're using. Okay, so let's begin. Let's begin with circumference. What is circumference? As I've mentioned about perimeter, circumference is very close to perimeter, and I had mentioned about perimeters in my previous video that says that perimeter is the distance around a figure. Same way, circumference is the distance or the boundary of a circle. Okay, so if this is the circle that we have, okay, so all this, okay, if you calculate it, it's the circumference. What is the formula for circumference? We have two formulas for circumference, that is 2 pi r and pi d. So 2 pi r and pi d. That's how my teacher told me to remember. I think it's really helpful, 2 pi r or pi d. So that's how you remember the circumference of a circle. So if you're given the radius, you can use this formula. Or if you're given the diameter, you can use this formula. So you have freedom of choice. Let's look at a question for both of the formulas, okay? So the first one here is a circle with diameter 14, but your professor told you to use the formula circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Okay, 2 pi r. And but then are you given the radius here? Nope. What are you given? The diameter. But then we know that radius is equal to diameter over 2, right? Remember we said that before, that a radius is half of a diameter, so radius times 2 is diameter. Okay, now because we know the diameter is 14 and we know that the radius is diameter times divide by 2, okay, 14 divided by 2, you have your radius as 7. So you substitute r with 7, the 2 remains right there. And what is pi? Anyone has any idea? Oh yeah, you can't answer, it's a YouTube video and not a private tutoring class. Oh, by the way, if you want private tuition, please contact me at funlearn@gmail.com. It's a customized class available for you for better understanding, and it teaches concepts that apply to you the most, okay? So, okay, back to our video. What is pi? Pi is actually a constant, okay, which is either written as 22 over 7 or 3.14, okay? You can write it either way, but I mostly decide according to the type of question that I have. For example, right now I have circumference is equal to 2 pi r, and then I have my radius is 7, so now I have 7 times 2, that is 14 pi. Now if I have to decide between these, I'll choose this because it's easier to simplify. So I'm going to be like circumference is equal to 14 times 22 over 7, and then 7 times 1 is 7 and 7 times 2 is 14. So now you have circumference is equal to 44 units. Okay, this is really important. You can never forget pi because it's there in each and every question that includes a circle in it, okay? So do not forget the value of pi. Do not forget that radius is diameter divided by 2. Do not forget what a radius is. Do not forget what a diameter is. Important terms, important constants. Do not forget. And obviously the formulas as well. So, okay, let's look at another example. Okay. So the other example that we have is a circle with a diameter of 8. Okay. So we know that, but then you're being told to use the second formula, that is circumference is equal to pi d. Oh, by the way, if you guys have noticed, what is the difference between these? This has 2r and this has d. The pi is constant on in both formulas, okay? If you look at it closely, this has d and this has 2r. And we know that 2r is equal to d, right? So now you know it's nothing actually different. It's the same thing written in a different way. Okay. Back to your question. I don't want to waste your time, so now because we've used fraction before, let's use pi as 3.14 and the diameter is 8. No conversions needed, you're given the question directly, so do not waste time and just substitute and go on. So if you multiply 3.14 times by 8, what do you get? 32, 8, 11, decimal, 8 times 3 is 24, plus 4, 28. So this is what I get. The circumference of this circle right here with the diameter 8 is approximately 2.12 units. Okay. Now there's something that you need to think about. What if you're given a semicircle? How would you find the circumference of a semicircle? Because you're going halfway there, okay? And then instead of going round, you're just cutting it off in the middle. So the first thing you need to do is, for example, you take the formula for a full circle, that is, let's say pi d, okay? Pi d is equal to circumference of a full circle. Let's just put f in the side. So semicircle would be divided by 2, right? Because you're cutting it into half. Instead of having all of this, you're just cutting it into half. So it's going to become half pi d. But then you're cutting it into half, but you're adding another line here. And what is this line? It's a diameter, so you add d. So half pi d plus d. Okay? In case you have a figure like this, a semicircle but with imaginary lines here, okay, then you don't need to add the d. Because it's an imaginary line, it's not included, so you just put circumference is equal to half pi d. Okay? Let's look at some examples. So I would like to use the same examples that we used before. Okay, so one of them was a circle with a diameter of 14. Okay, now instead of a circle, let's use a semicircle. Okay, and you're not given the diameter, you're given the radius as 7. You're not given the diameter, you're given the radius. It's a semicircle, it's not a circle. So 2 challenges that you need to overcome. How would you do that? Simple. Circumference of a semicircle where there's no imaginary line but a proper line, okay, proper continuous line, is half pi d plus d. Okay, we know that already. So c is equal to a half. I think it's best to use the fraction here because there are a lot of fractions in this question. So divide by 22 over 7 times diameter. Now what is the diameter? We have the radius, but we do not have the diameter. But according to the previous things that we learned, the diameter is equal to 2r, right? 7 times 2 is equal to 14. So 2 times 7 is equal to 14. So the diameter is 14. So you can substitute d with 14. all of this plus diameter, which is 14 again. Okay, so you simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 22 divided by 2 is 11, 7 divided by 1 is 2, 14 divided by 7 is 2. Okay, so now you have 22 plus 14. Your circumference is equal to 36 units. Got it? So it's really easy. It's just remember, a full circle, pi d or 2 pi r. 2 pi r or pi d. Half circle, half pi d plus d. Okay? And if it's a semicircle with a proper continuous line, half pi d plus d. Half pi d plus d. Imaginary line, half pi d. Do not add the d. Okay? That's really easy to remember. Important formulas, but really easy. So that's like 3 points. Oh my god, I get so excited when I see such questions in exams, because I'm like, wow, I don't even need to work hard and I'm gonna get the marks. That's great, isn't it? Okay, let's go to areas of a circle. Oh, I don't like areas, but we need to begin. So okay, let's start. Areas. So the area formula for area of a circle is pi. Okay, let's write area of a circle is equal to pi r square. Okay, so what is area? Area is this thing here. You see this thing? The one that touches the surface? That is area. Get this thing here. Okay, so this is how you find the area of a circle. Let's substitute using a question. So for example, you have a circle with a radius of, let's say, 21. Okay, that's a huge circle, but it has 21 inches. Okay, that's radius. So you need to substitute r with 21. Area of a circle is equal to, what do you want to use here? Let's try using 22 over 7. Okay, multiplied by r square. If you guys remember from my square and square roots video, r square is the same as r times r. Okay, so area of a circle is equal to 22 over 7. We know that the radius is 21, so let's just write it down. 21 inch times 21 inch. Okay, and now we can simplify. 7 times 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 22 times 3 is 66. 66 times 21 is 6 times 2 is 12. 6 times 2 is 12 plus 1, 132. 6, 8, 1, 3, 8, 6. Okay, if you still have problems with division, multiplication and such other operations, you can look at my upcoming videos. Stay tuned, because I'm gonna upload more on basic operations to make you do them really quick. Okay, and instead of taking 10 minutes on such an easy question, it'll just take like 2 minutes, I think, or even less. Okay, so now we have your answers. 1386. Okay, is the area of the circle, but since we are doing r times r, that is inch times inch, you get squared inches. Okay, right, don't forget to write down the units. That's a really simple thing, a really small detail that we usually forget and lose our marks. I really don't want you guys to lose your marks on such tiny stuff and regret it later, so be careful while doing your work. Stay organized so it's easier for you to find your mistakes. Okay, now we know how to find area using radius. Same way, if we're given a diameter, you know that you need to divide the diameter by 2 to get the radius. Let's move on to area of a semicircle. We all do like semicircles, don't we? Okay, and you're given the diameter as, let's say, what do you want? Let's take 5. That's really small. Very small circle. I wonder if that's the size of your iris. Okay, never mind. Let's just go on with the video. With this question right here. Now we have a semicircle with a diameter of 5. Okay, it's a diameter. And you're being told to find the area of the semicircle. How will you do that? Because you remember while finding the circumference, we had the formula pi d, okay, and then to find the circumference of a semicircle, we just divide it into 2, right? The same way, the area of a square is equal to pi r square. To get the area of a semicircle, you just divide it by, you just multiply it by a half or divide it by 2, so that's basically the same thing. You're just dividing it into 2, okay? You're taking the whole circle, divide by 2, so you just get the semicircle. Now you have area of a semicircle is equal to half pi r square, okay? And then you can easily substitute pi with, let's say, 22/7. I like the fraction more because whenever you're doing such stuff, okay, fractions are easier to simplify instead of getting big numbers to multiply, okay? You're not always going to get multiples of 7 as your diameters and radius, but still, because there's a half and there's multiplied by 2, so it's better to use 22/7. You get the answer easily and more correct. You're more sure about your answer. So you've substituted pi with 22/7. The half remains right there. And then you have times r, okay? But we don't have r, do we? Oh yes, we do have the diameter. So diameter is equal to 5. Diameter is equal to 2r. R is equal to d/2. If you haven't watched my algebra video, you make sure you do watch them, because that will show you how to solve algebraic equations to find values of various variables. So now you know that radius is equal to d/2. Your diameter is 5 according to this, so radius is equal to 5/2, okay? So area of a semicircle is equal to a half times 22/7 times the radius, which is 5/2, times the radius again, which is 5/2. So you just simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1, 22 divided by 2 is 11. So now you have 11 times 5 times 5, okay? Okay, let's write it down like this. 11 times 5 times 5 divide by 7 times 2 times 2. Okay, so 5 times 5 is 25, okay? 25 times 11 is 275. So on top you get 275, and the denominator, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 7 is 28. So this is what you get. To simplify further, just divide 275 by 28, okay? So now you have, let's see, 28 times 9 would be 72, 18, 25. So 9's are 252, 3, 2, 3, 230, and then you'll get a number that is greater than 5 for sure. So you write area of a semicircle is almost approximately equal to 10, because I'm sure that the number you'll get here is greater than 5. So when you round it off, okay, to a whole number, you'll get 10. So the area of a semicircle is almost equal, approximately 10 units square. Okay, do not always do this. Your teachers might want you to round it off to 1 decimal place, to the nearest whole number, or to 2 decimal places, so you write your answer accordingly, okay? Unless you're getting a whole number anyways, so that's something different. But usually they'll tell you how many decimal points they need, or if they don't need any. So do follow that for better grading. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just final reminders: pi is equal to 22/7 or 3.14, okay? Circumference of a circle is equal to 2 pi r or pi d. Area of a circle is equal to pi r square. Circumference of a semicircle with no imaginary line but a continuous line is half pi d plus d. A semicircle with imaginary line is half pi d only, no plus d. And area of a semicircle, whether it has imaginary lines or continuous lines, the area remains the same, half pi r square, okay? So do remember that. Do well in your exams. and hope you enjoyed the video. So if you did, please give the video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more content. Trust me, interesting stuff is coming up. And have a good day, guys. Goodbye.